Hey, this is John Coley with Lake Martin Voice Realty, and it's time for another market report for the waterfront real estate here at Lake Martin. I'm in my office today, so I apologize if there's a little bit of ambient audio going on, but due to unforeseen circumstances, I'm having to kind of try this a new way, so hopefully it'll work out. But the bottom line is September for 2020 was another great year. I mean, another outstanding year is a better way to say it for Lake Martin real estate. And so all these numbers I'm about to spout at you, as always, are coming from the Lake Martin MLS. And so this is all agencies, all brokerages, all agents, all around the lake. But it's been another outstanding month. So hopefully you can see these little graphs that I've printed up here. What I'm trying to show here is that here in 2020. This is the best year ever so far for Lake Martin real estate for waterfront homes sold. And so through the end of September, 370 waterfront homes have been sold. And these are homes, condos, townhomes, everything. 370 have been sold through the end of September. All the rest of the years on these graphs, this is the total year. So for instance, in 2019, 369 were sold the entire year, and now we've already beat that with 2020 at 370. So it's nothing but gravy from here on out. So we can already go ahead and put it in the books that 2020 is the best year for waterfront home sales on Lake Martin ever. And as I've said in previous videos, that the even more amazing thing is this is done with all the inventory levels at an all-time low. So waterfront home sales, the inventory is way down here. I don't know if you can see this. It's below the 5-year average. And, selling more homes in 3 less months with half the inventory, it's just incredible. We haven't seen anything like it. It continues to defy even my expectations of how great this year is going. So last month we also talked about lot sales. How are lot sales going? Well, it's the same year in lot sales. We have sold here at the lake, we've sold 97 waterfront lots through the end of September. And once you look at the rest of these months here, you can see that this is the entire year. For instance, in 2019, it was actually the worst year in 7 years for lot sales at 58. But we're got 97 lots, and that is the best year ever for waterfront lot sales. And again, this is only through the end of September, but it's already beat all the previous years, which is impressive. When did it happen? I thought it might be interesting to look and see when the big, huge uptick happened. And as you can see, it happened. I'll kind of get it in here a little bit close. In June is when it really bounced up, okay? And so the months of June, July, August, and September for waterfront lot sales on Lake Martin were huge. That's when it bounced up. And so for me, it's really interesting because we're seeing these sales across every property type. Like, for instance, homes, condos, and lots. I think of a lot of times of home, condo, and lot buyers as buyers with different priorities, because home people, they want a little bit bigger privacy. They might be willing to work on a house a little bit. Condo folks are more of the instant gratification. I want it in, and I want it in right now, and I don't want to have any upkeep. Those are different buyers. And then obviously lot buyers are totally different, because lot buyers are looking 1 or 2 years down the road. And so all those types of people are buying here at Lake Martin. I've had a lot of questions about the corona. Do you think this will last? I mean, looking at the sales like this, is it going to last? Well, what comes up must, come down, I guess. But really, the one thing I looked at, and I thought about this, when was the last time we really had a super heavy buyer's market at the lake? And that was 2008. So I went back and I looked, and yes, I was around in 2008. I've been around for a while. And I looked at what that kind of advice I was given for 2008. And really, I think it's the same advice I'd give right now in 2020 when we're in a hyper seller's market. And that is, don't try and focus all about the market and where you are in the market and should you buy based on this or should you buy based on that. Because really, I think those are the wrong reasons for buying a lake home or a lake lot. The comparison I made in 2008 was, is it Well, when I talk to people that have owned a lake home for a long time, and they say, "Oh, we loved our lake home, and it was just a center of so many memories," but they don't go, well, but except for the oil crisis of the 70s, or yeah, we loved it except for Black Friday in 1987, whenever that stock market crash happened. They never say that. They always look at it as a whole. And so that's what I would say too for 2020 is, don't jump at it and try and momentarily time the market. Make your decision based on, hey, is this the right time, and is this a good fit for us to own a lake home? If you've watched any of these other videos, you've seen me say, just start running out of adjectives for how well things are selling here in 2020. And since I thought about maybe doing because of the months of July, August, and September, well, June, July, August, and September have been the best ever on record. And so I thought of maybe doing like a little montage and making them as the months of the Mount Rushmore of sales at the lake. But then I thought, well, it involves it involves presidents, and this is a presidential election year, and I don't want to get into all that. I mean, it's not that I don't care what you think about the presidential race. It's just that I don't care what you think about the residential race. Just kidding, of course. I'm so interested, but I didn't want to get into all that controversy. And so then I thought, well, maybe I can compare them to like the greatest football stars, college football stars of all time, and that's even more controversial than politics. So I thought, well, how can I have fun with this? And so I thought, well, I'll make a comparison for the greatest guitar players ever in history, and that is according to my opinion. So here are the John Coley's comparison of guitar gods to waterfront home sales. Now, the guitar gods part is my opinion, but the sales are facts, so we can't really dispute those. All right, so coming in at number 5 is July of 19. Last year, that 55 waterfront homes were sold on Lake Martin in July of 19. Until that point, we had never seen anything like it. But it comes in at number 5, and I'm assigning Jimmy Page to be this month because I love Led Zeppelin. I think they're awesome. One of my favorite bands ever. Jimmy Page did some crazy things on the guitar, very influential. But I can't believe he's only number 5 because sometimes I think of him as number 3. Anyway, doesn't matter. Moving on. Month number 4 of the best months ever is Stevie Ray Vaughan. June of 20 sold 55. And so if you were around and looking at my market reports a couple of months ago, you'll see how surprised I was that June matched the best month ever. And so Stevie Ray, what can we say about Stevie Ray? He brought the blues back in the 80s. He's a Texas guy, Texas blues. Love me some Stevie Ray. But it's crazy how good this year has been, is that Stevie Ray is merely number 4. So anyway, 55 home sales in June of 20, number 4. All right, moving on to number 3. I could be accused of some recency bias here for number 3, but 56 waterfront homes were sold in August of 2020. And so that gets number 3 on my list. And really, technically, 5 and 4, Jimmy Page and Stevie Ray Vaughan were tied at 55 apiece. So you could probably technically say that they were the same. And so it kind of had the same thing for 2 and 3. But 56 homes sold in August 2020. It gets Mr. Eddie Van Halen. Recently has passed away. Rest in peace. But Eddie Van Halen was pretty incredible. I'm a child of the 80s, so honestly, anytime I hear a Van Halen song where he's just ripping into the guitar, it gives me chills. So that's Eddie Van Halen, number 3. Number 2, also with 56 sales, September, the month we just had, September of 2020, 56 sales. And so what can we say but Eric Clapton, slow hand, he's a pioneer, definitely, sold a lot of records, but a genius. And so September 20, the month we just had here, 56 home sales was pretty incredible. All right, so drum roll for number 1 is probably no surprise to anyone on the sales and on who I pick. But number 1 with 73 home sales was July of 2020. Mr. Jimi Hendrix, of course, he's number one on everybody's list. But the crazy thing about it is, and that's what kind of got me started thinking was, I'm going to mess this up here probably, but 4 months in a row, June of 20, and then, where am I going? July of 20, August of 20, and September of 20 were 4 months in a row of record home sales. And we've just never had anything like that. Where, you to show me in what market, I don't care where you are, that you have 4 consecutive months of home sales. It's incredible. All right, so there's always an honorable mention for these kind of lists. And so what I decided on the honorable mention was Mr. Robert Johnson. He's like everybody thinks maybe he started the whole blues movement. And so a lot of people point to him as the king of it all back in like the 20s or 30s. I'm not sure exactly how old this was. But 37 home sales in April of '05. I included that for 2 reasons. Number one is because he started it all. '05 kind of started it all for the current sellers run for Lake Martin. I mean, I know it's 15 years ago, but still. And with 37 home sales, that would, still be an impressive month. It wouldn't be even near the top month. But Robert Johnson's kind of started the blues, so I figured, what was the start of our sellers market? 2005. So I nodded to 2005 for Robert Johnson. So I hope you've enjoyed my little rundown here. The bottom line to remember is that we have never seen any sort of market like this on Lake Martin before. So it is really a place that I think you need good advice to tread into the waters here. As a buyer, homes are still selling in a matter of days. As a seller, I'm seeing some people put their houses on the market FSBO, but I'm also seeing some people make some mistakes and ask too little. And then I'm seeing some people now, I've seen in the last 4 or 5 days, and I'm recording this in October, I've seen 3 or 4 price reductions. So sellers that have put their house on the market ask too much, and the house has been sitting out there. Because in this market, if your house is sitting there, people begin to think, hey, what's wrong with it? Because things are going so fast. So if you need help on the seller side, I would love to help you out. If you need help on the buyer side, I would love to help you out. My name's John Coley. I've been doing this not as long as Robert Johnson's been around, but I've been in this market since 2005. Grew up here, and would love to help you out. So please give me a call. Thanks.